What's up, guys? Freddy Fishfinger here, and I'm bringing you some more of the VGC International Challenge thingamabobby. My opponent's running a very meta team at this point, so that's okay. I'm just randomly breathing really deep. That probably came through really weird on the microphone, I don't know. We'll find out once I have to listen through the recording again. So I do always have the option of leading Incineroar and Fake Out. Tapu Lele might prevent that from happening. I do have the option of leading Metagross, and being able to go for the thingamabob Meteor Mash. So you know what? I think I'll just do that. I'll lead offense for this type of team. Get some damage, cause some problems. Mudsdale's probably going to be pretty good, and then I'm thinking Incineroar in case I need to. I don't think I'll be able to get the Fake Out off so much, but Flare Blitz the Kartana is more my thinking process now, in case we get to that point. Look, to be completely honest, I think we're playing an uphill battle against a team like this, because the team that I've built was more built for a little bit of a strategy and a nice core unit. But that being said, it's not a team that I could get fully behind. If I would have my chance again, I might try to attempt to see how I could better the team. But off the top of my head, I'm not certain there is a way to do that. So I kind of kept the team as I built it, but it might require a little bit more thinking to be able to deal with certain teams as what we're coming up against right now. Now the thing is, I do have Fire Blast with Salamence, so it's not like I don't have any options right now. I think I want to go out into Incineroar from the Metagross, so that way I don't have to cop a Fire-type move that I'm really not ready for. But my opponent will most likely have to cop a Fire-type move that they're not ready for, because I don't think you would expect to see a Fire Blast from a Salamence, especially since Salamence is not super common. Yeah, I have seen it used. It's likely that my opponent has seen it used, but you wouldn't be looking at a Salamence going, oh, I know exactly what it's going to do. That move right there was likely to scout what I'm going to do. Oh, so he's just scouted entirely. I don't agree with plays like that. It means you gain a little bit of information, but if I did any setup then, my opponent loses so much momentum. So that's why I don't agree with plays like that. That being said, right now I have two options. I can Fake Out on the Arcanine, or I can Fake Out the Kartana, and if it's Sash, that really punishes my opponent. Now let's have a look really quickly. My opponent doesn't have a Water type, or something that's going to resist a Fire Blast. So I'm still free to Fire Blast. The only thing that does is Garchomp. I would feel like it's not likely to bring out a Garchomp against a Salamence. So I feel pretty safe in going for this. Now my opponent's running a bulkier Kartana. That's a Sash. That's okay. The good news for me is that I do outspeed the Kartana with Salamence. It is possible my opponent's... Well, my Arcanine won't kill Salamence. I don't know what it could do to actually kill Salamence anyway. Like, even extreme speed wise, but even still I'd outspeed it, so that's whatever. I'm trying to think right now. I might be better, you know, by Flare Blitzing the Arcanine slot. Is that a bit weird? Maybe I should Flare Blitz the Kartana slot, and then Draco Meteor the Arcanine slot. Maybe I should do that, because I can still always later... He's protected Kartana, so that works for me. I get a free Draco Meteor off against the Arcanine, because I don't expect Arcanine to protect again right now. And then this may not kill. It doesn't kill. Would have been really cool if I double targeted the Arcanine, but realistically, I wouldn't do that. Now, what type of move is that? Just your typical Z. Unleash its full power, remove Gigavolt Havoc. Okay, so that'll kill Incineroar, but it's not going to kill Salamence, especially since it's been intimidated. Okay. Does about half-ish. Half-ish. And you're not going to kill with an extreme speed from there. So right now, what I can do is go for a Flare Blitz on the Arcanine slot, and then I can go for a... I mean, I can go for a Draco on the Kartana, and that might be better if my opponent decides to try be shifty and bring in a Garchomp. I don't think you'd bring in a Tapu on that slot. I feel like that'd be a bit crazy. Just to take free damage, but you might try to be shifty and bring out a Garchomp if you're really desperate. So that works for me. Wild Charge won't kill Salamence because Gigavolt Havoc got Salamence down to roughly about half, and then I get the free Flare Blitz to kill off the Arcanine, which means that I'm 2v4. Yes, I have taken a lot of damage. Yes, Garchomp and Tapu Koko will both outspeed Salamence, but I'm definitely ahead. So if I do see Garchomp and Tapu Koko, I have to hope Tapu Koko is not on a balloon. But I guess we get the benefit of seeing what my opponent's doing. Tapu Koko, yes. And now we got to focus to see if we see the balloon. And okay, so he's gone double Tapu. Okay, cool. So what I'm expecting now it kind of doesn't matter what my opponent's Tapu Koko's item is. We're dealing with Psychic Surge, which probably... I probably appreciate that less. I'm expecting a Dazzling Gleam. Who have I got left? I've got Metagross and Mudsdale. Since Metagross can come in and just cause problems with Meteor Mash, and Mudsdale comes in and causes problems as well, so that's good. Would it be better to try Preserve Incineroar? I'm going to say that it is, you know. I'm going to say that it is. So I'm going to do that, and then Salamence, you know what? It's unlikely that I get this off, but it will give me a little bit of information, and you never know, there's a chance some random stuff that I'm not ready for happens. Right now, I get the chance to learn whether there's a Choice Scarf on the Tapu Lele, and it seems that there's not. He's gone Thunderbolt on the Salamence. I thought for a second there'd be a real outside chance that I'd live, but realistically it makes sense that there wasn't, which again I'm okay with, doesn't make a difference. Now here's the question, what do? I think I have to go Metagross, and I don't have a problem with going Metagross. Metagross will live the Thunderbolt from the Tapu Koko, and so what I do here is if my opponent doesn't protect the Tapu Lele, it goes down to Meteor Mash. If he does protect the Tapu Lele, the Tapu Koko goes down or takes a crap load of damage from this incoming Flare Blitz. So, cause I've got one more Pokemon than my opponent, I'm a little bit more expendable than he is right now. So that's why I'm playing this game. Thunderbolt on Metagross won't kill, as I said. Good. Meteor Mash, that should kill. Focus Sash is about the only thing that would save you right now. But didn't have that, so Tapu Lele goes down, and I get the added benefit of getting the Flare Blitz off. And Flare Blitz doesn't quite kill, so maybe my opponent would have been better going for the Protect, unless... Would you be Assault Vest, Tapu Lele? That kind of seems a bit extreme. But the best part here is, even if my opponent has Discharge, ultimately his best move against Mudsdale ends up being... I'm trying to see what's my most accurate move, but it's Metagross, so I don't have one. Ultimately, my best move against... his best move against a Mudsdale turns out to be Dazzling Gleam. Unless, I mean, you could carry Grass Knot, but even then, that won't kill because I have an Assault Vest. So, really, I just ended up being in the good books there. And the good news there is, I wasn't confident I'd get that win, but I managed to pull it out. And I didn't pull it out through hacks or anything like that. I'd say the fact my opponent's Kartana had low speed really did help. But ultimately, I think playing well got me that one. I'm satisfied with my performance in that outcome. Okay, next battle actually came in rather quickly. I'd say my opponent's team right now is nothing specific that I can see. It's more just a core. I want to say that the lead of Metagross and Tapu Bulu is really good against a team like this. Actually, you know what? I might be wrong with that. It's probably more Metagross Incineroar. Tapu Bulu is better in the back. And then I guess Milotic could finish up this combination pretty well. Mudsdale won't really be good because of the 2-3 Ice Water types, even though it'll be pretty good against the Garchomp, the Vikavolt, and the Marowak. And then Salamence is not worth the problems being slower than Garchomp, and then being weak to the Ninetales as well as slower. It won't directly be able to kill the Gastrodon outside of the Z move, and then it doesn't terribly concern Marowak either. Vikavolt's about the only thing that it really threatens, so I feel like this was definitely the best option. Now here, I am ready and raring to go with the incoming Fake Out as well as Meteor Mash. So if you guys want to try predict which two those are on, feel free, but I would think it would be pretty obvious. So we'll see if you guys can guess this right. We'll see how long my opponent takes to make their move, but for me, there's no reason to predict on this one, because there's very little for me to lose if I predict incorrectly, and there's very little for me to gain trying to super predict my opponent's moves. Because right here, what I could have done as well is try to predict the Protect on a Ninetales and then go for the Meteor Mash on the Tapu Fini as well. But in my opinion, it wasn't worth it. It really just wasn't. Now, what I can do here is mix it up a little bit and try go for a Meteor Mash on the Tapu Fini and a Flare Blitz on the Ninetales. And I think that's what I will do, because I expect a possible swap out from the Ninetales. Unfortunately, I can't see my opponent's team after I lock in the moves. But yeah, that's what I've done. I've Flare Blitzed the Ninetales, predicting it to be withdrawn potentially into... Okay, well, really, Garchomp, there's nothing that I can immediately ruin with either of my two current team members. I'm expecting a Muddy Water, maybe a Scald. The good news is that I won't really lose either of my existing Pokemon from that. So we'll see what my opponent does. Hydro Pump. You know, it's crazy. I know people use it, but I wouldn't immediately look at a Tapu Fini and go, oh, I want to use the most powerful move that it has. I would want to try build it. I guess, you know, the funny thing is, I say I would try to build it more bulky, but I do have that team where I did invest a pretty substantial amount of EVs to drag it Moonblast to kill Garchomp every single time. So, there is that. This turn here, like, there's no better option for me right now than Tapu Bulu. There's just not. The really good thing for me here is that I also weaken ground type moves, which means that Garchomp can't have lots of fun with going for Earthquake. Poison Jab is also a little bit lessened because I do have the Kebia Berry, and then I can follow it up with a Horn Leech. It's possible my opponent protects the Tapu Fini or swaps out the Tapu Fini, but either way, I'm loading up the Meteor... Okay, you didn't do that. That's fine. I'm loading up that Meteor Mash. It's going to just miss out on killing. Iron Head is not as threatening as Poison Jab, but at the same time, that's cool. Now, do I kill? No, that's okay. Meteor Mash will kill on the following turn. And I outspeed that Tapu Fini, so I can definitely basically do the same options, but swap up my opponent. Now, what are you doing here? You're the Water move, and you're going to, target probably Metagross. Metagross will go down. And I don't outspeed the Garchomp with either of my Pokemon. Milotic will outspeed the Tapu Fini. Actually, I do live. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And I live the hail. Good news. Garchomp, does it live the hail? Barely. Barely lives the hail. Tapu Fini doesn't live the hail, so that's good. Good news, good news, good news, good news. Now, if I'm my opponent, I bring out Ninetales and I go Protect. That's what I do. So, we'll see what he actually does, but if he brings out the Ninetales, I fully expect to Protect, because you wouldn't allow the Metagross to kill you. You'd be insanely stupid. So what I'm going to do as a result, and I'm trying to see, what could the last Pokemon be? I don't know, but Metagross, the problem is Metagross is so good against that Ninetales, being able to get off that that Meteor Mash, that I really want to try preserve it. So that's what I'll do. I'll try preserve it by bringing in my Lotic, and then for what it's worth, I will go Horn Leech against this Garchomp. The Horn Leech will kill the Garchomp. Like I said, I'm expecting a Protect from the Ninetales, so it's likely that I end up with a pretty weakened Tapu Bulu on this turn, but we'll see. Okay, so you didn't... Okay, two things. One, he didn't protect Ninetales. Two, that play makes no sense. It really doesn't. And the reason it makes no sense is because I outspeed and can kill that Ninetales. I mean, okay, if he has a Focus Sash, I don't kill it. If he has a Focus Sash, I don't kill it. But then at the same time, he's allowed Metagross to live. I definitely don't get that. I really, really don't get that. Now, here's the other thing, right? He's shown he has... but even though he's shown he's had Freeze Dry, I can't... I mean, I can double target the Ninetales, but now it makes sense for him to try preserve it. Oh, this is so backwards. So backwards. The thing is, I need to kill the Ninetales. So, but I need to kill both. Look, I just have to go plain and simple Meteor Mash on the Ninetales and Scald on the Garchomp. I mean, Scald or Ice Beam on the Garchomp, doesn't matter. Yeah, he does protect that, and it's likely he goes to try kill the Metagross. That was some really backwards play. Now, I could have predicted this this here. Realistically, it doesn't really matter, because even if I do target down the Garchomp, it just means that I don't take the damage from my Milotic, which, look, it might serve me well, but I don't think that really matters. What really hurts is seeing the most obvious, hey, I should really protect right now turn that I have ever seen, and yet him not opting for protect. Literally the only turn in which that protect doesn't make sense is where you expect me to swap out. But how could you expect me to swap out? You know what I mean? So that's what's kind of crazy. Now here, I have to go Scald on the Ninetales, because Ninetales can kill me with Freeze Dry a lot faster than Marowak can kill me. And I don't... Look, I know I have high defense. I don't see me winning only because of the Freeze Dry. But yeah, that did less than I thought it would. But Marowak does a lot of damage, so outside of... No, I was going to say outside of, like, a good hit and a burn. But we got the burn, but we didn't have anywhere near good enough a hit. Oh, man, it does a lot. So, here's the thing, right? There is a very unlikely way back into this game. It starts with a Protect on the first turn, and it's followed up by a Recover on the second. Okay? And it means that I kind of need my opponent to get overzealous and Protect with one of his Pokemon on the following turn. More likely the Ninetales than the Marowak, but there's no obvious way back into this, but if there is an outside chance here, right? And this is... Don't think it's contradictory to the turn that I made in the previous episode, whereby I said there's no point, because here I do get a little bit of HP buff. I get 12 extra points. Now, if I live because of those 12 points, then that turn made every bit of sense. Now, it wouldn't make sense for me to make that play now because the grass terrain's gone. But look, we'll see for what it's worth. If I do live a freeze dry, and then I'll get the recover off, and I'll see what's happening. It makes sense for my opponent to continually attempt to go for freeze dry and shadow mode. See, look, I live. I'm not going to get mad, only because I was unlikely to win anyway. But that's still frustrating. Now, ultimately, the big move that made me lose was the fact Ninetales could have full HP. If my opponent's Ninetales didn't have full HP, then I was in with a much better chance. But again, it made no sense for him to not protect that Ninetales on that turn where he didn't. So, on any other play, I'd be punished for not swapping out my Metagross right then, because he would go for Protect. At the same time, I think I could have targeted... Because if I targeted the Garchomp... Nah, because then probably they'd both go down anyway, and then we're in a bad situation anyway. I don't know, look... Maybe my opponent did make the right play, in hindsight. But the only way I see that it's a good play is if I expect him to use Protect and I predict wrong. Anyway, leave likes if you enjoyed. Comment on if you can see the best play not given knowing the outcome, because that's interesting to me. But yeah, leave likes if you did enjoy. Subscribe for more Pokemon content, and we'll keep going with some of these VGC International challenges.